Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you are in. I'm Bill.
I am Lawrence Patchman Lang.
I'm Danny Boy Reginald in this house. Let's go.
And welcome to episode 5 of the Sportsinsanitypodcast.
Where we talk sports and go completely insane, baby.
On the
Oh, we
interweb.
bring back the old slogan. I like it.
Yeah.
This time it's just not on completely insane on Duchess Radio. It's completely insane on the interwebs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been waiting to do that. I just didn't know, when
was
to
the right
slide
time?
in and everything.
I was waiting for that. I'm like, he needs to bring that back.
Yep.
So, first of all, we have hope you guys are all doing well. You're staying safe, enjoying this holiday weekend. I know it's not the one we all wanted, but you know what? Make the best of it.
I get to go to work the next 2 days after this, so I get to make money.
And I know we're in the midst of a global health crisis, but you know what? Today it was rain. Where we live, it was raining, so
It's not raining where I am at the moment.
it still is where I am.
It kind of is outside over here in New York City. I can hear the cars going over the water, so it's really satisfying in a weird way.
So, okay, we got a great show for you today. We are doing a response to the John Oliver bit he did last week about sports reopening. We're talking about the NHL's plan to reopen. We're talking the baseball card market with our special guest, who we'll introduce in a second. And we're also talking about sports and music. We'll talk about at-bat songs, closer songs, and top 5 favorite songs we like to hear at sporting events. We got a fun show planned for you, don't we, guys?
Yeah, we do. Also, you missed out on our boy Danny Boy's new signee with his Jets, with Joe Flacco.
Yes, we are going to I apologize. Yeah, we are absolutely going to talk about that because, Patch, you have a few things to say about that,
I
don't
have a few things, but as typical, Giants fans got to disrespect the Jets fans.
Oh, I have a few things to say about that, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
We'll get to it.
But before we do anything, we have a very special guest today.
Yes, this is my guest that I lined up.
Patch, would you like to introduce him for us?
Absolutely. As some of you may know, I currently work for the Hudson Valley Renegades, who are a minor league baseball affiliate of Tampa Bay Rays. And one of my buddies who I worked with the past year and a half decided to join us today. So we'd like to welcome Old Ops Guy.
Woo! How we doing, all?
Hey, Old Ops Guy. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I can help out. I'm excited to join and hear what we got for the day.
Yeah, it's like in the midst of all this, though, you got to be very creative when you do a podcast like this, guys. Am I right?
Oh, you have to be. The wide range of people we know that are sports fans can gladly come on anytime. We can line it up. We'll line it up.
Listen, if any of you want to come on, just reach out to us. Again, we will set something up.
In the words of the Creed song, arms wide open.
I actually like Creed, so.
Creed's debatable. But
They're like
that's for a
Canadian
music
Nickelback.
podcast.
No, they're American Nickelback. Okay,
but
so
it's a different debate.
Old Ops Guy, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name, it was given to me as an affirmation from Mark Halpern, who didn't really know who I was, but I was always seen working my butt off. And I went in and confronted him about it, and he said, I just didn't know your name. I said, fine, you gave me my nickname for the season, and I'll show you what an old operations guy can do. Next year, I became the head of that department throughout the season. I've been in many different businesses, everything from medical to retail, and the biggest thing I do is I am a big sport car dealer on the East Coast.
And we're going to be talking about that a little later. And I can see you're a Mets and a Cowboys fan.
That is correct. It hurted the great Patch to work with me on those times, especially during NFL night, but it was fun.
Okay, well, we're glad you're here. And guys, let's get down to business.
As you say, sit back,
relax, and enjoy. Okay, so we're going to start off. We're going to tie 2 things here together. You know why? Because we can, and it's our podcast. Okay. If anyone watched Last Week Tonight with John Oliver this past Sunday,
Yeah, it was I watched it. It was pretty interesting how he broke everything down for us to get sports to come back.
His main story tonight was how are we going to bring sports back from this pandemic. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Oh, my God, you guys have talked so much about this the past couple of weeks. Would you guys move on?
Well, it's kind of hard to move on when there's only that to really talk about, and we can only come up with so many other ideas.
Give us a break here. We're trying.
We promise sports will be back someday.
And we will have an actual sports podcast. Well, you get what I'm saying.
I got a couple ideas for later in the year.
And we can't wait. So anyway, he touched upon some, the basic of, not having fans in the stadium, which
can work.
It can, but I think we can all be honest, it's going to be very depressing.
It will be depressing, but still the fans will still be able to see the games through TV, radio.
Oh, absolutely.
That's still an option. Doing this, put it up on the scoreboard and let the fans cheer out through their screens. Fans can still be heard.
That is a perfect idea.
Have to be in the stadium.
That is perfect. And also talking about like the plans that we've been hearing, like something called the bubble teams, I think they're called, is when they like basically isolate them in a hotel, test them like once or twice a week, I think he said.
Once a week.
Yeah, once a week they would be tested for the coronavirus.
And see where we go from there. What do you guys think of that idea?
It can work, but I think Mike Trout discussed it. It's like, all right, what about my family? How am I going to see my family? Is my family allowed? Our family is going to be allowed to see the game, watch them play. It's still this interesting concept in MLB where they want to do it, but it's just going to, I think, more stress the players out more because they're going to be isolated. They're going to go play. What's going to happen? They're going to go play baseball. They're going to change. They're going to go back to the hotel room, and then they're just going to be in a hotel room. It's going to be a rinse, cycle, repeat scenario where it's just, all right, you're going to go from point A to point B to point A for many games.
And also on that remark, Mike Trout and his wife are expecting their first child soon.
Yes, he is, and he says he does not want to miss the birth of his first child. I know John Oliver joked about it. Oh, you got to be there for the first child. Second one, it doesn't really matter. Third one, who really cares? But for the first child, you need to be there.
Yeah, the joke was, we can't play it for you because of copyright reasons, and I don't feel like getting a strike on our channel. So he basically said, he was a joke, and I'll do it with the British accent. Because nobody wants to miss the first child. Second child, that's negotiable. Third child, I don't think the mother even has to be there.
That's pretty good British accent, but you're right. But no, it's the first child. And any father that's becoming a father for the first time wants to be there for the birth of the first child.
Absolutely. As a father with 2 kids, I was there on time for the first, and I was took 2 days off before the second one came in. So
exactly. So, but that was like one of the reasons. If anyone heard us last week when we were talking about the whole thing with the players' union for baseball, there are 2 groups of people with the players that you're looking at. One is the ones who we were bashing last week, calling them basically greedy assholes and spoiled brats because they want more money. But then there's the ones like Mike Trout who actually have valid concerns.
Well, every player should have a valid concern, not because they're not getting paid, but they should have the common sense to have their well-being there first. Okay, you're not making your millions of dollars this year, but what's more important, your millions of dollars or your health? Ooh.
Exactly. And then it's like I was saying before, I understand why they're asking for so much protection in terms of financial protections as well as safety, because they're putting themselves at risk of, exposure. This virus isn't going anywhere. So I understand. I still think they're being a little greedy, but I can understand their argument. So it's just a tough thing to balance.
And
for any player who's making big money, they're going to want to be paid. Their right is to be paid, but they have to give a little to get a little.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But like again, what I was saying, those people who just like, hey, I'm concerned for my safety, I'm concerned for my family's safety.
Well, yeah, but you
That's
also,
understandable.
and it is understandable. But also, you go a little bit further. Okay, they approve this thing. It's gonna be, all right. You're gonna have to isolate players, coaches, umpires. You're gonna have to isolate the media. Like John Oliver put it, it's gonna be like 10,000 people altogether.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's going to be like 10,000 people. And did you hear the German soccer league,
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga? That's how you say it.
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga. That's fun to say. They just reopened last weekend.
Yes, they did. They're one of the very first things to come back and play. I know
And
most
they're
people.
playing with no fans, and they're doing the bubble league thing, but 2 players already tested positive.
Listen, the coronavirus is not going away anytime soon. You're still going to have your cases. If sports come back, you're going to probably have a few players that test positive. And what do? You just got to isolate them for 2 weeks. Yes,
And
there's
then,
high
I found this one funny. There was a coach, you guys saw this, who got suspended, who he didn't get suspended. He's in quarantine for 2 weeks because he went out to go buy some toothpaste.
Well, yeah, he put himself and the rest of his team at risk if he wasn't masked up and all that. I understand the suspension, unfortunately.
And yeah, he's got to do 2 negative tests before he can come back.
Yep. Yes, I remember reading about that.
So do you think maybe we should have standards like that?
You should.
Absolutely.
I say it says hypothetically a player tests positive for the coronavirus and sports are back in America, 2 weeks. You get 2 weeks and you got to test negative to 2 tests. And you're allowed to come back and play.
Well, first things first, they have to make sure that they're feeling better because
Exactly.
If they're still sick, then I wouldn't. There's no reason to test them if they're still sick, But if they're starting to get better, at least you can test them for the virus. You can test them for antibodies, whatever the case may be, to see if they're able to fight it off, and then go back and play their respective game. Excuse me.
But do you think you would have to wait 2 weeks though before you get tested because it takes 2 weeks to
It doesn't mean after that first 2 weeks you're going to be better. What it's saying is that you need 2 weeks to prove that your body can shed this virus.
Right.
You can still be feeling better, but it still can be present in you. So 2 weeks is just the first step.
And because as people have we been saying since this whole thing started, you may not show symptoms. You might be fine, but you can still have it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's why it's important to wear the mask. That's why it's important to social distance. That's why it's important to, I hate to say because we've been doing this for 2 months, that's why it's important to stay home. Because you don't know. And that's the big thing. You just don't know. And, but you know what? I think overall, from what John Oliver said, it's going to be tough to bring sports back because, it's just without the fans. Like Patch said, it's going to take 10,000 people. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's 10,000 people, not hypothetically, but 10,000 people if MLB were to resume. Because you got all the teams, you got all 32 teams, you got coaching staff, and you got to have the media. You need people there to broadcast game.
And then you have the WWE, like they were named as an essential business in the state of Florida.
Hey, Vince McMahon.
They made it work.
They made it work.
They're trying.
Hey, look, I give them credit because obviously I don't understand why it's an essential business, but I give them credit. They said no fans. It's just going to be the wrestlers and whatever media crew that needs to be there.
Yeah, they're
tape the shot.
They're at the WWE's at the Performance Center in Florida. You got AEW, and I think even TNA are doing shows as well. TNA as well is doing shows without fans, and they're recording 3 or 4 episodes in a row, and they're letting that play out.
And that's what they got to do to keep fans in it, and that's what it has to be.
Yeah, and now let's tie this into a most recent story that just broke. Was it last night or this morning?
I think it was late last night, early this morning.
The NHL Players Union has approved a plan to reopen.
And have the 24-team playoff format, right?
Yeah, 24-team playoffs.
All right, let's go NCAA on this. Win and go on.
I think our very good friend Ross is probably thrilled about this.
He probably did a backflip, then hurt himself.
Well, I could actually see that happening. Ross, if you're listening, we love you, bud. We do.
That's debatable.
Depends on which day it is.
Day of the week.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but no, I actually got the article from his Facebook page.
I got it on ESPN notification.
So, yeah, so, like, big question. Could this work?
It can work. It's just
Gotta try something. If it fails, you have a failure. Then you try something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or if it does fail, and let's say there's another like mass outbreak or whatever the case may be, you just stop it and just let it go for the year. You know, that I've always talked about that.
We've been screaming about this for weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying.
We've been screaming.
You know,
We just been saying, hey, it might be just better off. All right, NBA, NHL, you're done for the year. It's all right, no champion.
yeah. But I can understand why they want a champion because, you know, that's part of tradition. Like every year ends, unless there's a strike with the unions, it ends with a champion. So This is not the case where, you know, they're going to do everything they can to get a season going. And if it means having a 24-team playoff, which is good for me because the Rangers are in, then
my team's in.
Yes, they are.
that's it. Then it's cool. You know?
When it
It's
pegs
what it
in,
is.
I'm excited. So
They think, I think they said they were starting like June or July. Is that right?
Probably July.
Probably July the earliest.
'Cause June's too close, and then we don't even know if all the cities are open. Like New York City's not open.
Nope.
It's not even close to being open. So, you know, if you're going to play in these different cities where it involves traveling, like that's a pretty tough to deal with. And I know NBA, they are very close to coming to a deal. They might play at Disney for the duration of the season.
Interesting.
and then
As
throw
long
that.
as Florida opens, Florida is still one of the heaviest hit states. But yes,
Yeah.
that was the idea, and I thought it was pretty good.
And they also got to throw in there if NHL and the NBA resume, how are you going to get the Canadian teams over? Because they got to self-quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's going to be – there's just too many – it even said in the article they're still trying to figure out the details.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Canada, I don't think Canada is opening anytime soon. I don't know what the update is over there. And I know Trudeau is very adamant about that. So that's going to be a tricky situation.
Because I know public events in Toronto, I think I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, somebody check in on YouTube and Podbean, just put in the comments below and just tell me it. But I heard in like late June, they were suspending public events up until like the end of June.
Well, I would figure they would.
Yeah.
If certain cities in Canada are still hit hard by the coronavirus, you have to do it.
But they were also because they were also talking about like the Blue Jays and the Maple Leafs and stuff. Because okay, or would they be allowed to have Blue Jays games? Would they be allowed to have Maple Leafs games? And go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, continue.
Yeah.
Because MLB and NHL are private companies and they're not owned by the city.
Well,
it would just mean they have to come to.
They're going to have to come 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
Quarantine. Then they'll have to play. I mean,
And
it's going to be a rough way to schedule this out.
You know what?
They're better off going 3 weeks. Come a week early. Come 3 weeks early, and that way you have that
Take your week for practice.
ready. Yeah, that way instead of coming 2 weeks before the season starts, okay, you're going to train in your own home stadiums and fields, but you come come to this side of the border 3 weeks early, you'll still have your training facilities, depending where you are and depending what team you are. Like the Blue Jays will just have their Florida location.
But that's like the thing though, and that's like even if you tie it into, you know, like with baseball with the Blue Jays, like you'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And like, listen, with that in mind, with NHL, I don't see how this is going to work. I feel like it's gonna lag everything.
Well, the NHL's coming up with something. They're
trying. I'll give them an A for effort.
They came to an agreement. They approved the plan. We all know that once if it resumes, it's going to be a 2014 playoff that starts that restart. So now it's about getting all of everything going. How are we going to test the players? Where are we going to isolate them? Where are we going to play if our home city isn't open? If our country isn't open, where are we going to play? You know, so they're just trying to figure that out, and that takes time. So again, to me, it's not realistic. But if they are willing to do it, then they should. And you know, I'm always for, you know, liberty and trying to make stuff work if it can. And the fact that the NHL is taking this next step is going to give a lot of confidence for other leagues to take a step, especially NFL, who's already very optimistic about their league opening on time, which I still can't believe.
With the NHL, you said, or the NFL? Like,
Well, NFL's starting; they might start on time.
But
NFL is going to possibly be delayed, I would say, by a month.
Which is fine.
yeah, it's okay.
It just means that we have the Super Bowl plays in like mid-February.
Right.
It's a week instead of the first week in February. It's the second weekend.
Oh,
But training facilities have opened.
You know what I just realized? I just like figured this out. Like next year, the second when it would be the second Sunday in February, the Super Bowl would be played on Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, there goes my chance of watching the Super Bowl, even if the Cowboys are in it.
Or you could say, "Sorry, honey, Valentine's Day is off. We have to
You try saying that to my wife.
I'm sure your wife is a lovely lady.
Oh yes, she is.
She's an angel.
Yeah, I didn't mean to poke fun. I just
no, please.
we have fun here, as you can see.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be a lot of upset wives and girlfriends that day,
Yes,
or a lot of pissed off husbands and boyfriends. It might just be, okay, honey, we'll go for dinner about 2, so we get okay, it's gonna be a late lunch because we got to get home by kickoff.
It's a late dinner.
I know it's Valentine's Day, but it's the Super Bowl.
If your team's not in it, who cares?
But yeah, that would be. Yeah, so by a month, you're saying it might be delayed?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
It's fair.
Start the beginning October.
It's like better off than other.
It just extends out. Football's funnier in the snow anyway.
That's why I'm hoping if I go to this Buffalo Thursday night game, it snows. I would love to go to a snow game.
A snow game at night?
Jump on the table.
Oh, I want.
Oh.
To our fans who've listened to this a few times, I apologize. I have a friend, old ops guy, who lived up. He went to school up in Buffalo. He lives there now. He keeps telling me every year, "Bill, you got to come up for a Bills game. Bill, you got to come up for a Bills game." And I just never found the time. And he goes, "Bill, you come to a Bills game. We're jumping on the table."
A Bills tailgate party is like ECW in the 90s. Just let the bodies hit the floor. And people are getting 3D
pretty
at the
much.
table.
Would anyone here jump on a table? Please raise their hand.
Well, I would think I would.
Cowboys make the playoffs. I'll definitely will.
I'd rather be naked and jump into snow than to jump on a table and hurt my body even more.
Mike, I don't know if your back can handle the table.
All right, snow. Snow is starting to seem like a better move. You got a good point.
It's
I'm
softer.
looking out for you on that one.
And you can handle the cold better.
At the moment. But anyway, if the Giants make the playoffs, I'll be jumping on a table or jumping into.
But you have no reason to do that because the Giants always do well.
Well, they've been kind of iffy.
Well, yeah, I mean this decade, but like
They still
past
only
years.
have one featured part on their offense. They don't have a full team yet. They don't have the wide receivers to contend in the NFL.
Exactly.
They got Saquon. That's about it.
Hey, I love Saquon. Don't pick
And
on
you saw what happened when he turned his ankle. The Giants looked horrible.
It's true.
So,
And I don't. I have opinions on Saquon that are hot takes, but like I could save that for a different time.
okay,
We could say that for the NFL season.
Because
you're probably gonna say something. I'm probably gonna sit here and fight you on it.
yeah, sure.
And
Why
I'm
not?
just going to sit here and laugh.
And you have to wait till football season comes back. But getting back to the NHL, like, listen, they're trying. I'll give them credit for trying.
Mhm.
I give them credit for trying, but I don't know how this is going to work. Like, you still have the details you got to work through. Like,
Exactly.
Canadian teams, how's that going to work? They'd have to come in quarantine for 2 weeks. But what about those teams who are going from state to state? Would they have to quarantine for 2 weeks?
Well,
I think
Depends on what's going on in the state.
Like, I know if, say, Carolina Hurricanes, because that's who the Rangers would be playing, if they'd come to New York, since New York is basically the epicenter of all this, they would probably have to quarantine.
You would not have – and if they're doing NHL playoffs, they got to find a central location like Florida. You know, we say Florida's one of the heavily populated. You move everyone there. And I want self
Or you take over Vegas since it's shut down already anyway.
Yeah, that's what the NBA
Florida
wants.
or
Just go to
Vegas.
Vegas. Just go to Vegas. You can give a hotel to each team. There's plenty of hotels there.
but even Arizona, they said that they're opening for sports,
Right.
and Arizona is big on hockey as well. You know, why not? All these
You can always go all
these-
Mystery Alaska and go play in Alaska itself.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean Alaska, their cases are pretty much leveled. It's nothing.
Yeah.
So
Alaska's isolated.
yeah.
So you have
Unintended.
to wait and see. Would you have to go to Vegas? Would you have to go to Alaska? Would you have to go to Florida?
Vegas would be the best option. You go to Vegas.
And, in this event, I'm going to be suspending all Florida jokes because there's just too many of them, and I don't think it's appropriate right now.
Well, and also to go off the NHL, how about Joe Rogan's?
What about Joe Rogan?
Not Joe Rogan. No, Dana White. Not Joe Rogan. Dana White's outlandish idea.
Fight Island.
Fight Island.
Oliver touched on that too.
Yep.
Fight Island.
He touched on a lot of things in that segment. He touched on what some of the replacements for these sports. They have these gamer leagues. I think on ESPN they had that 2K league.
Yeah, the Madden Bowl just went off. Yeah.
Or the two guys slap at each other.
Yep, Patchy. I caught the
That I love watching, though.
Yeah,
Where'd
caught
you
the
get Reg?
Cornhole finals. The cornhole finals, which are fun.
Yeah,
The marble races.
The marble races.
marble race, which is
The stacking cups.
Yep.
Fun fact about the Mar races, I discovered that like 2 years ago.
And now they're popular.
And now they're popular. I'm like, I followed that from like the beginning of it.
Yeah, but it's weird because apparently John Oliver touched on that they're not getting as much funding, which is fair because
And then you end up just sponsoring it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's just cool. It's awesome.
Watching those marble races and like all the events that they do is hilarious.
That's why bringing back ESPN 8 The Ocho makes so much sense right now.
How about you just make it a permanent channel?
Exactly. Retest it out.
Ocho.
Yeah, they own if you think about it, they kind of own that right now.
Yes, they do.
Outright, if you think about it, with all the scenarios with Disney and 20th Century Fox and all that stuff.
Yup.
And they can show dodgeball once a day. Show from like 4 to 6.
Love that movie.
Hey, we're giving them some ideas right now. They better be listening. Yeah, they're not listening. We're again 4 random guys in New York, so I don't think they're gonna listen to us.
This is true.
But anyway, Yeah, but I think the tie-up is we have to wait and see. And I know, I feel like a broken record saying this already. We have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. I feel like a
But
broken
that's
record.
all we can do.
There's really nothing much
Listeners, I know you're
out
getting
there.
bored hearing me say that, but it's the truth. What do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
We literally have no power in this situation.
Just sit here and wait.
We got to just sit there and wait.
Yep.
So,
Playing the winning game, which stinks, but it is what it is.
quoting the late, great Tom Petty, the waiting is the hardest part.
This is true. All right, Bill, what else do we got to talk about today?
Okay. Moving on to the Jets have made a new signing.
Man.
Ageless Joe Flacco.
So, Reggie, since you're our resident Jet fan here,
Mm-hmm.
would you care to share with the class
Sure, I guess. I mean, it's only a
what
1 year.
happened, your thoughts?
It's a 1 year deal. Was it $4.5 million? Is that about right?
Sounds about right.
I love it. It's like, he brings a veteran presence, which they already have with Frank Gore, but you bring in much more of that with Joe Flacco. And not only the veteran presence, but you have a guy that's won a Super Bowl, the quarterback, QB1 of a Super Bowl team. He can bring that winning experience. That's what Darnold needs, because that's what the Jets lack. And the fact that Joe Douglas was able to get that deal done and bring in Joe Flacco, it's a brilliant deal. I think first of all, I am in love with Joe Douglas. So far, he's probably been the best GM this decade. And yeah, true. Yeah, this decade. Yeah, because it's the start of this decade. Yeah, so clean slate 2020 for the Jets. But yeah, I love his move so far. So far in the draft, apparently the Jets did pretty well with the draft according to experts. And now with this signing, and all other things he did over free agency, I gotta take it. My only concern, obviously, is Bell, but we could talk about that a different day. But the fact that they got Joe Flacco in there to back up Darnold, because think about it this way: let's say Darnold has another fluky illness or gets injured. At least you have someone with experience in Joe Flacco that could ignite a team. And that's important. That's what the Jets need. Jets need to be able to have a backup to go in there and win your games. So I'm thrilled with this signing here, and I'm glad that the Jets are finally making a statement because they desperately need one.
They need to make a statement. They need to stop becoming a laughing stock.
Patch, I know you said you had a point on this.
I would just a small take. I would say give Sam Darnold a year off and have him go behind Flacco for a year and learn a little bit more.
But that messes up his progress. The whole point. Oh my God!
Hey,
Oh, Troy.
All right, Troy decided to come out and say hello.
You got a special guest there. That's how's it going, buddy.
yes, dear.
The youngest fan.
Yes.
It's the youngest person ever on the.
Yes, this is Troy David Halpern.
Hey,
And
buddy.
yes, named after Troy Aikman and David Wright.
Super
I
young
respect
Ox guy.
that.
Yeah. But Troy got away from mommy, and we're going to let him go back to mommy.
Aw.
He said bye-bye. You wait, bye-bye.
Bye,
There we go.
Troy.
Hey, my buddy.
Sorry for that interruption.
Oh, no.
Nah, this is great.
That was
No,
awesome.
that's fine.
That was fantastic.
Oh, that was awesome.
Interrupting is fine. But to go back, okay, continue on. It screws up his progress.
Are we talking about Darnold or Flacco?
Flacco. Flacco starting, Darnold backing up for a year.
I really don't like this idea. If you're going to start Flacco, then you're going to have Darnold get a year off. Granted, Darnold is still very young and has a lot of time in the league. I just think that, he already took some time off when McCown took part of the year from him in his rookie year. And obviously had a lot of time off last year because of the mono. And so I really think Darnold needs to get in a rhythm And if you send him out for another year, it's not going to progress him.
Right.
He's not going to go anywhere. I mean, I get the benefits. You have Joe Flacco start for a year. You watch him. You learn under him. But Darnold should be in a position now where he can start games. You see what's happening over in Buffalo with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's just going out there and doing whatever, to develop. And so far, what has happened? In his second year, the Bills made the playoffs. So that's what the Jets need to be in position, to do that. Do something like that rather than having a slow, steady thing with Darnold. Darnold needs to pick it up a little bit.
All right. Like I said, I figured I would try to ruffle the feathers a little bit and go off that, but
I mean, I get it. I get it. You have Flacco. He's more experienced. He's seen this league. He knows how it works. He knows how to win. And Darnold could really use that as a mentor.
Benefit, yeah.
But to me, it's better if he just goes out there and just runs around.
Yeah.
And figures it out. And he's a sharp thrower, and he's very smart. He's unlike a lot of quarterbacks.
I agree.
No, I like Flacco.
It's a wait and see progress, as we've been saying. You got to see what progresses.
You have anything to say about this?
The signing of Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best moves the Jets could have done this season. It'll give Sam Darnold a little kick in the ass, saying, look, we have a veteran. He knows how to play. You're not getting it done after the first 3 games. You're
benched.
Now, you look at my situation in Dallas. They pick up Andy Dalton for $8 million to go in and back up Dak Prescott. That was one of the smartest moves I've seen yet. A lot of people thought it was to get Dak just to sign, saying, hey, look, you're not ready to go with us. We'll play Dalton. That can't be the case because he's still got the franchise tag, and he's not going to give up money. So whether he gets a long-term extension or not, they're prepared to say, you don't want to do it, you sit. We'll start Andy Dalton, who's played in this league and has played with the caliber of receivers.
Yeah, and you also have like a reverse situation from my team, the Giants, from years ago. I don't know if anybody remembers this. They picked up, what's-his-face, Kurt Warner, and that was just to get Eli ready.
Yeah, but sometimes it's veteran advice and play is what gets you to bond as a team, to show how to win.
Also, listen, I think this is a good deal, but, I do have one concern. Flacco has also been having health issues. He had neck surgery. I think it was back in April. He's not going to be cleared for contact until August or September. And
but we're not worried about him playing. We're worried about him helping Darnold.
Because I'm also thinking, okay, so Flacco sort of mentoring Darnold.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're talking about because eventually he may have to step in if anything happens.
But you also
I can see that. I can see that being a concern. But
I'm overthinking again.
Yeah, overthinking because if he gets injured, who are the Jets going to play? Fails? My goodness, no, I don't want any of those dumb backups. I want a good quality backup.
Someone who's seen the league, someone knows what could be coming at him at any time.
But you also got to look at it say if Flacco is hopefully everything goes smoothly. I wish Joe Flacco, I wish you the best. His recovery goes fine. He comes back. And God forbid, or actually, let's say Flacco's recovery is a little iffy. You guys know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And God forbid Darnold gets hurt or he gets mono again.
Oh, that's highly unlikely, but
Now, listen, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know that.
Let's just for hypothetical reasons. Let's go ahead.
For hypothetical reasons, and Flacco is still iffy, that's a concern.
It's always a concern because you have neck surgery.
I apologize.
If you have neck surgery and you're in the NFL, look at Peyton Manning and look at his recovery time.
It's a lot longer. You look at any surgeries, yes, have changed. Still, you look at the wide receiver Michael Gallup last year, tore his MCL, had it repaired, and was back in 2 weeks. It's not like it's no longer the standard 14-month wait.
Yeah, I mean, just to how the advancements going on in the medical field, which I think is outstanding. It's ridiculous.
And look at Alex Smith right now too with his recovery.
Yeah, the fact. Oh, that too. Yeah,
that was a great thing on ESPN.
Oh, that was a great E60.
Yeah, but I'm just saying overall, like I'm not bashing this attack. It's just that you got to keep these things in mind now.
Yeah, you got to keep it in mind because it could be a case. But I'm not too worried about it right now. Right now, I'm worried about Sam Darnold going out there and playing his best football, hopefully in his first full season where he can actually play. Oh, so I really can't wait for this. This is going to be really cool to
But the AFC East is no longer what it was. It's now – it's going to change. Brady's gone. Now it's up for grabs. And if the Jets want to take a chance, start out with the bull rush. You got Le'Veon Bell. You got Sam Darnold.
Now you got Flacco.
Guys who can catch the ball.
Yeah,
so
just use him. Just use him. Look, and I know I've been very hard. For anyone that knows me, I've been very hard on the head coach. He's got to go out there, get at least 10 wins and a bye. Anything less than that, he's fired. I don't like him. I don't like the system he runs. He causes more drama in the locker room. I'm just tired of it. And you see the way he handled the team last year. He said he's some offensive guru. He can take any team to a playoff. Well, that's not the case. And his offensive numbers without Peyton Manning stink. It's bottom tier.
No, I've been saying they need to fire Adam Gase, and I told you guys this, I think it was in the first episode. I have a friend of mine who is a big Jet fan. Like I said, Reg, I think you two would get along just fine. Mm-hmm. He's a Met fan, but we could compromise on that.
Hey, our special guest is a Met fan, so leave him alone.
Sorry.
Please. The METS always will stand for must end the season. I'll stand for that, but now it's more must endure the season.
No, must endure the suffering.
Like Jets is just endure the suffering. But anyway, I told you about my friend who is like the most mild-mannered person you'll meet, but when they're in Jet season, every Sunday, Adam Gase needs to be fired.
Yeah.
That's like his post every Sunday. I'm like,
I'll give him this season. I'll give him this season, then I'll make my judgment. I know Reginald wants him fired, but let's give him this year.
No, we gave him 16 games. We gave him 16 games, and he was awful. If it wasn't for Sam Darnold and that second half surge, he would be fired.
I agree with you.
Absolutely. It's like, listen, I'm a Giants fan, and I think he should be fired. But like I said, now Jets got Flacco. Whether he plays or not is a deal. But, like you guys been saying, Flacco is going to be there to mentor Sam Darnold.
And again, veteran presence. You have Gore, you have Flacco. Two guys that know winning.
So, so that's the Jets season, and we're just going to have to figure it out.
Yep.
And, okay, moving on. Old Ops guy, you said you collect a lot of sports cards. Is that correct?
Sports card dealer.
I not only collect just for myself, but I have been a sport card dealer for over 30 years. Ever since I was about 10 years old, I've been buying and selling cards, and it became not only a hobby, it became a business.
Show us today.
I have one. I have one for you. Baseball cards are not what they used to be, 50 years ago. Just regular cardboard paper, picture stats and all that. Cards have evolved to the point where you get autographs on them. You get patches on them. You get patch and autograph. As I am a very big Mets fan, there were only 10 of these made that shows David Wright as Captain America with the blue jersey and his autograph.
That's awesome.
And I could not put this up for sale at all. I just put it with the American flag and I let it hang on my wall.
I mean, I know you have another autograph that you were happy to get.
That is not here. I went out with a investor and we bought a Babe Ruth autograph that has a second autograph on it from a very, very famous pool player who Babe Ruth used to play pool with. And that is locked away right now. It's going to hopefully pay for Charlotte's college.
Okay.
Yeah, Babe Ruth autograph. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, I think I sent you the picture a while ago.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
That is like locked in a safe.
Oh, yes. You have to – Dungeons and Dragons doesn't even mean anything. You have to get through harder stuff to get to that card. And one of them is my mother, so good luck.
That's hilarious.
But, yeah, I mean,
Would you fight someone for that card if they tried to break in for that card?
Oh, if they actually could find it, I'd be impressed. Because I still can't find it at times. I forget where I put it.
But sometimes they say, sorry if this is a side note, but sometimes they say like the best thing to do, put something valuable in a place you don't remember where that you
yes.
remember the hiding places. That's how it goes.
Yeah. But just getting back to another trend, when cards were out when they first began, nobody ever expected 50, 60, 70 years that a Mickey Mantle rookie card, tops 52, would go $100,000 at auction. No one thought these cards were for that point. It was just originally made for kids to enjoy, see their favorite players on picture cards. Yes, there were ones who said, oh, this is a Mantle rookie. We're going to save this. Most of those people end up forgetting they had it, and people who buy a house find a trunk in a house and open it up, and hello, it comes down to something like that. Nowadays, a pack of cards average is $9.
Whoa.
It's $9 for a pack of cards. There are packs of cards that are over 1,000 that give you 8 autographs and 6 jersey cards. Okay, there are rooms that do case breaks that people sit in and try to get, specialized cards and cards they want and cards to sell. I mean, there's more than one card dealer in the world. I'm just one of the many, but the business is now more aggressive than it ever was.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I watched Gary Vaynerchuk. He's on Instagram and YouTube and many places, and he has always been saying that you have to watch out for this sports card market because it's starting to grow again.
Yep,
it's starting
with
to.
Everybody
it died
being
and then
home,
started to resurrect.
With everybody being home, a lot of the people used to do it back in the day said, I can do this again. And the card market is now taking off again.
Yeah. It sort of reminds me of Baseball Reference. That's like that's how people used to look up their stats and stuff. So like it's Baseball Reference in a card. And that to me is just amazing. I mean, I didn't have many baseball cards. I wasn't fascinated by it growing up. But I can see why people are fascinated by it. You have a picture of a player from the past, and then you can read all about him. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's historical memory, yeah.
I mean, we go off breaks. I know me and Old Apps guy knows a guy that does breaks, BG Entertainment.
Oh, yes.
He's big into that. He's got men. It's always cool seeing him give away the stuff. I
have a lot of respect for BG Entertainment. They have a lot of nice product. I spoke with them at the stadium a couple of times last year and the year before. They are more what I see is more into the collectible material than they are the sport cards. They do autographed bats, pictures, gloves, and stuff like that. That is not stuff that mostly my end of the business really deals with. We're more into the cards where they're more into the authentic memorabilia. So there are two sides to it, but no, they're a solid company.
Yeah. What would you say if you had to give us top 5 most valuable cards?
Top 5 most valuable cards? Card number 1.
You would literally have to basically kill someone to get these cards.
Okay. Considering there's probably less than 2 in the world, one is at the Hall of Fame, is the Honus Wagner T19 T206. And that card, there was only 10 of them or 15 of them total made because he didn't want his name or anything associated with tobacco. And that's where you used to get these cards originally. They were tobacco cards, so kids would get tobacco. He didn't want his name associated with it. So that is one of the rarest cards they sell. If you have one that is viable, it can sell as high as $1 million.
Huh.
1986 Fleer, Michael Jordan, is now one of the most, after this ESPN show dropped,
which we will
that
talk
card
about
became
next
the
week, I
most
promise.
wanted card ever. It is very hard to get. Considering the way they were made, you tapped them on a table, dent that corner. I mean, there goes the corners. I've only seen 2 9s in my lifetime. I've held the 9 and I flipped it, but a gem mint recently just sold upwards of over $100,000. And the 52 mantle, obviously, is another one that you cannot find in really great condition. Mike Trout's Bowman autograph first rookie card, anything graded on that is, so hard to find in great condition. One of the breakers I deal with actually has a suitcase full of them, and it's unreal. And the last card I would think that is hard to find or even get your hands on these days in any type of good condition be the 1930 Gaudy Babe Ruth. When his first card came out, those were less than flimsier than Egyptian paper. So,
Really?
Oh, wow.
I mean, those would be the top 5 cards I can ramble off in an instant.
Those are all great cards. You really
Oh,
think
yeah.
about it.
So
Holy
yours
grails.
are the David Wright and the of yours personally are, from what I'm getting, one of them is the David Wright card you just showed us.
Yes, that is from 2016. I got it in a break. I bought the Mets from the breaker, and they opened up the case, and that was one of the cards in there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not selling that. That's going on my wall.
And the Babe Ruth card, which is somewhere that you don't even know.
Yeah, where I don't even know. My mother moves it constantly from bank to bank, so I can never sell it.
Good
I
mom.
bought it. No, I bought it, but she's never going to let me sell it.
What else do you have that's valuable in autographs?
Yeah.
In my collection a lot, but I'll just turn the wall here.
For those of you listening, he's showing us all the memorabilia in his room right now.
Yep.
Lops guy.
We got the Buckner picture.
Yep, with Mookie and Bill Buckner, who signed. Up in the top is the Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson Hail Mary pass, both signed by them on an 1820. One of my favorite pictures, if you can see it, is the Troy Aikman Sports Illustrated signed by Troy Aikman.
Hey.
Whoa.
And then the football that is right there was from Super Bowl 23. Sorry, Super Bowl 28. Sorry, my bad. Super Bowl 28. I am a very big Troy Aikman fan and a very big David Wright fan. And on the other wall in the other part of my house is the David Wright jersey that I went to a game when I had my tickets at Shea. It was in left field. And
Shea Stadium, great stadium.
Went up to go grab a bite to eat, and then Steiner was there, who was one of the best autograph companies in the world.
Absolutely.
And they had auctions. So I'm like, okay. So I bid $200, and David Wright had just only been up about a month. So I bid $200 on his game used autograph jersey from that day. I'm like, I'm not going to win it. At the end of the 8th inning, they make the announcement on the board of the winners of the auction, and I'm looking at it, and I said, holy shit. Pardon me, sorry about that.
Fine.
Oh, it's okay. It's the internet.
Don't worry about it.
And I took off. And I got there, and they said, well, we won't have the jersey till after the game. We need you to fall. I said, no. I want you to frame it. They said, oh, we can do that. That's a $100 charge. I said, okay.
Here's my wallet. Take everything.
I knew David Wright was going to be the star that he was. So I got a game-used, signed autograph jersey of David Wright hanging on my back wall in my living room.
Terrific. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh my God! First of all, David Wright. I mean, I know his career took a real downturn, but
he ended
was
up
one
with
of my favorites watching him play.
Not being able to correct his spinal stenosis, which is, speaking of pure reference, it's not easy surgery really just to correct and go on with. I've been living with spinal stenosis for over 10 years.
Wow.
And you can have as many surgeries as you want on it, but it just doesn't get better. And he will always be known as, to the Mets fans, as the Mets captain, Captain America, because he, you know, what he did down in the World Baseball Classic. So, you know, he became a special player to me. And Troy Aikman is my favorite football player. When my wife told me we're having a boy, I had a few names that I threw out, Troy David, and she said, TD, I love it. And I said,
awesome.
TD, yep.
There you go. There you go.
No.
Troy Aikman, the Hall of Famer. Troy
Yes.
So here's a question, and this could be a bit of a personal question. So if you don't want to answer it, just say.
Nope. Go ahead.
What would be like the line to cross to buy a card? If you saw a certain card or autograph, you would say, okay, you know what? Not gonna throw all my money on that. Like,
Whether you know who the player is or you don't, there always comes down to certain factors, especially if you're buying a raw card. And when I say a raw card, I'm meaning a card that's not been graded. A graded card will tell you exactly the condition the card is, whether it's done for PSA or BGS. Excuse me on that.
It's all good.
it's okay.
Let's just take, I had that Mike Trout, but mine was raw. Mine was not graded at the time. And his stuff just started to go. And I had a guy come up to the table and says, what do you want for it? I said, I think I'm going to end up taking it back with me. He said, can I write a number down on a piece of paper and hand it to you? Because I want no one to hear it. 5 seconds later, I transacted with him for cash and he got the card. Everything has a price, no matter what you want to do. But you want to look for the clarity. Is the card clean? Is the corners sharp? Are the edges not chipped along the sides from when they've been in the pack? If it has an autograph, is the autograph clean, not smudged? Does it have a jersey card? If it has a jersey card, all the edges around where that jersey goes, are they clean? Is the patch clean? You know, everything has different levels and stuff like that to go for. Just recently, Vladimir Guerrero's Bowman PSA 10 rookie card just sold for $1,000, and the guy hasn't even played a full season yet.
Wow.
And so they're expecting him to make a run like Mike Trout. But then there's also Pete Alonso, who Aaron Judge came on and just boom.
Took everything by storm.
Yep. So his rookie cards went from $2 to $850 in less than a week.
Oh my God.
Holy crap.
So it depends on everything from what the card is to what the player's doing. And if you can find a player that's doing really well and you can get some of his stuff low and then you look to resell it for $15, $20, nothing is worth something unless somebody is willing to pay for it. That's the card dealer's phrase. If they're willing to buy it, then you can sell it. But you can offer a number of days. Doesn't mean someone's going to buy it. But for me, it has to be someone I've been watching, someone I know I can move, someone I know if I'm putting in my showcase, someone's going to see that and say, I want that.
Yeah. I actually have a funny collected story to tell you. I think I was like 9. My dad knew this guy who he worked with.
Okay.
He comes up to my dad and he goes, hey, I'm retiring. I'm moving to Arkansas. I have a bunch of old baseball cards. Your boys are sports fans, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, can I give you some? And he's like, my dad's like, sure. He goes, give your boys? Like, yeah, sure. And he gives him like the first thing he gave us were like old cards from the 50s and 60s of the Yankees, like Joe Pepitone, and of course Mickey Mantle from like 1962, I think it was.
It's a nice card, around $550.
$550.
Yep.
And then my dad goes, you like this? The guy's gonna give me more, and he just like gave us like this binder worth of cards.
Okay.
I don't remember any of them. I apologize.
No.
But anyway, and I'm like thinking, wow. And wait. So a 62 mantle could go for $550?
Yeah, if in good condition.
Bill's gonna go digging now.
Yeah, I have to go on a little journey right now.
I just finished a consignment with a lady from upstate New York. Her former husband had collected cards since he was a kid and up into adult, and he died of a heart attack, and she didn't want them and didn't really need them, and so she got in contact with me through a friend of mine, and I had her send me everything she had, and I told her, I will make sure this is done right. She had a Cy Young. This guy had a Cy Young T206. It's like I was drooling over.
What?
The $6,000 card.
Are you kidding me?
It's graded in great condition. It's a $6,000 to $8,000 card. I'm like, wow. Got it off to the guy who does my computer work.
My God, I'd be going for the runs right now if that was the case. Like, oh my goodness.
But she wanted money right away. So didn't have time to do grading, didn't have time to do that. So we sold 10 cards to a collector who wanted to go grade them. So he paid $3,000 right up front for those. And then we sold the rest for another $8,000. So we just did an $11,000 consignment.
Wow. So
to a woman who didn't care what she was going to get. She could have been robbed blind, which that's not what I do. I mean, someone else who could have just taken stuff and said, "Oh, I got you $2,000." No, she got $11,000.
Wow.
I'm sure she was happy.
But she's happy. She's got $11,000 now.
Yep. And it's all stuff gone from her basement. And
you
then
never
there's
know what
another
you're gonna
lady
find in your basement.
Yeah. There was another lady who was at the Renegades, who knows me very well, is putting me in touch with somebody else that wants to just do the same thing. So it's a easy business. It's just time to look at the cards since they're all going to be raw and see which ones are going to go high, which ones are going to go low.
Yeah, and before we move on, well, there might be a couple questions before we move on. I don't know yet, but anyway, have you been to like those card shows by any chance?
I had set up at card shows from 1999 to 2007. I was doing card shows at the Westchester County Center. I had been
I just recently went to one. I think it was in 2018.
The National out in Cleveland, I did not get out to. I was working.
Well, this was the one that was in Westchester. We have
down at the county center.
The county center, White Plains, I think it is.
Yep. That's where I used to set up for years. Yes.
A friend of ours, our friend Vinny, if you're listening, shout out, buddy. He is really into sports card collecting, and we went 2 years ago, and this was my first time at a good card collecting thing, and please do not laugh at what I'm about to say, but I'm walking around seeing all the prices on these things. People are willing to shell out this amount of money for this?
Oh, yeah.
If they're fanatics, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The old-time stuff is really making a very, very strong comeback. And you have an end of his career Mickey Mantle. It's worth a couple of $100. It doesn't matter. As long as it's in condition that people want to buy, they'll buy it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
But with autographs and stuff, I remember the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team was there.
Yep. They were there with Ricky Henderson, yes.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
This was 2 years ago, and they would have charged me $130 just to get on stage and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not gonna throw down money on that.
I didn't do what I wanted to do is get a copy of Miracle and have them sign a 16x20, then put the movie at the bottom and frame it. They wanted over $1,000 for the 16x20, and I said, forget that.
But I was able to, this doesn't have anything to do with autographs though, but I was able to get Jim Craig, the goalie.
Jimmy. I
actually got him off stage. Mm-hmm. Guys, this is a true story. I swear on my life, this is a true story.
Sounds awesome, man. Keep going.
I see Jim Craig. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Craig. Hi. Listen, I wasn't around during when that happened, but I've seen Miracle, of course. For those of you who watched 2 weeks ago, I put that as my number one sports movie.
It was on last night, ESPN.
Yeah, it was. Okay, and I've actually seen the game. They showed the replays before. I said that was like one of the greatest moments ever. And I said, listen, if it doesn't bother you too much, can I get a selfie with you? And he's like, sure. And I got a selfie with him. And you know what? If you want, I can. Wait, do we have a share screen on this? Do we? You know what? I'll just put it on our page or something.
We probably could, but yeah.
No, we do have a share screen. You know what? Guys, if it's okay, would you just give me a quick sec?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so so he just literally
took a selfie with you.
Yeah, he took his selfie with me, and he was like running to catch a flight too. So
that was dope.
There you go.
A lot of the guys are like that. The heavy hitters, it's hard to, but a lot of the old time guys don't mind it. I don't mind taking selfies because that doesn't mean you're getting the autograph to go run and sell it.
I mean, the selfie wasn't around 30 years ago, but you look at
Exactly.
Jordan and the Bulls, you look at the documentary, Jordan would sign almost every autograph, even Dennis Rodman would.
Yeah.
And you saw the one photo. Yeah, Dennis Rodman gives a kid a pair of sneakers, and you see the kid's face just, thank you.
So do the prices, do the players decide, or do the
It goes by an industry and by the players themselves on how they play in their position. You're gonna have a good season. You're gonna have a season like Pete Alonso. It's gonna go up like that. Pete Alonso next year could have 2 home runs. Could have 2 home runs and 300 strikeouts. That 850 will drop to 100 in overnight. I've looked at players. I mean, I'll go back to a picture from a long time ago who said it was going to be the best for St. Louis. Rick Ankiel. This guy came up and was brought up. He was going to be the best. His card sold like forever. The guy couldn't find the right side of a barn for the first 3 games, and then he came back as a batter. It didn't really work for him. But, it all depends on the player themselves and how the industry views the card, the type of card, autograph, numbered, etc.
Because I remember when there was another thing at the Westchester County Center when they were doing another show like months later. Where's Patchy?
I'm sure he'll be right back, knowing him.
But anyway, Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Okay, Joe Montana. Thank you. He was there. I think Notre Dame because he went to school there. For just to sign a shirt, I think it was like $600.
Yeah.
Not about right.
Yeah. For considering it's personalization for a T-shirt, yeah, $600 sounds about right for Montana. $1,000 for a ball.
It's like, listen, I like Joe Montana, but I'm like I would have gotten to sign this shirt, but I don't have $600 to spend.
Right. And it was 85? Mantle, Ali, and DiMaggio were all there signing, and you could have gotten their autograph for $25 then. $25 to get autographs from them because the industry hadn't taken off yet. By 1995, that's when the industry took a big turn.
Well, okay, here's the picture I've been waiting for. This is the picture from me 2 years ago with Jim Craig. There it is.
Oh, God. Very cool.
That's pretty dope right there.
Right there. And for those of you who are listening, I'll I'll post it on our Facebook page.
That's very cool.
Just so, because I know you guys aren't probably watching. Yeah, he was really nice guy, and he was like ready to go catch a flight. And hey, Pat, you're back. He was like a half hour away from catching a flight, and he was able to, I'm like, can I take a quick selfie with you? He was like, sure.
That's actually really cool.
And yeah, and it's like, what's his face? Ruzioni, unfortunately, well, he was on his way there, but he got caught in traffic, and they couldn't do a group photo because Jim had to leave. Ruzioni wasn't even there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that was awesome. He's a really nice guy, and he didn't charge me a dime.
Of course.
I think the best stuff is when you just do it for free. Am I right?
Well, yeah.
Who doesn't like free stuff?
Yep.
F to the R to the E to the E.
Yeah. So, so that's interesting.
I can always post a couple of the card pulls I've had over the last year on your Facebook page just to show you a difference.
Oh, we'd love to. We'd love to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd love to see that. Before we move on, like, Ops guy, you got to meet our friend Vinny. Like, he is really into the sports card thing. He is like really into it. I think you guys would be talking for about a good 3 hours. So
I could talk baseball for baseball cards and sport cards for days.
Nice. So what made you stop going to card shows before we move on?
Well, I ended up having to have 10 back surgeries between the ages of 30 and 37. So
Nice.
My business became at home, doing everything out of my house. I couldn't really stand or walk very well. And I was, doing it through eBay, through little contacts. And then I started transferring everything over to a co-signer and then just joining these breaks to get cards instead of paying $1,000 to $2,000 a case and then not making my money back. It made more sense to go at this route.
Yeah, so like on a personal note with the back surgeries, how you feeling now?
I'm doing okay. I will need one final one, and that'll be decided soon. We'll see how that's going to go, but I need one more.
Best of
Fingers
luck.
crossed it goes well.
We're hoping for you.
Yep, we
I
got your back,
appreciate
man.
We got your back. We just met you about an hour ago. Well, Reg and I did. Patch has known you for.
I know him for a while.
For a few years, yes.
And my sympathies that you had to put up with him.
The sympathy should really go to him because he had to take orders from me.
Yes, well, for the first year, for the first time when we started working together.
Agree with him because he had to put up with me for when we were doing our show at our old school.
All right, we got one more segment I think left in our show.
Yeah, we do have one more segment, and this one was a tough one.
Collaboration between you and me, Bill.
Yes, good working with you as always.
As always.
I'll be honest. Okay, so if you listened to, what was it, 2 weeks ago, we did our top 5 favorite sports movies.
Yes.
Since, we really have nothing better to do, am I right? But there is another important thing in sports. Music.
Yes.
Music is important. So we had this is going to be a 2-part thing. We're doing it all here, but part 1, Patchy, we're going to have you explain part 1. Then I'm going to go to part 2, and we're going to share. Because sharing is fun.
Sharing is fun. So, for all you baseball fans out there, we're going to start off with what would be your walk-up music?
All right. Reg, you want to get the ball rolling?
Your Love, The Outfield, is my walk-up song.
I love that song.
I had to take it from my man Charlie Blackmon. It's a good feel-good song. Just that beginning of the song, the few words.
That is a really good song, by the way.
It gets the crowd going. I just like when the crowd gets going when I'm trying to do something. So if I'm going to be batting up and I'm going to start to rally whatever, I got to do something. I want the crowd to be fired up as I'm going up to bat rather than waiting until I get a couple pitches. Like it's not silly. So Your Love the Outfield. That's my pick.
My walk-up song. Trust me, these were tough, so bear with me. Mine was "Living on a Prayer" Bon Jovi.
Okay.
Powerful song.
With coming up to the chorus, we're halfway there.
And plus, you would get a fan audience screaming that out.
Exactly, because you want the crowd in on it. Ops guy, what's your first choice for a walk-up song?
It would have to be Kid Rock, and I'm going to butcher the name. Ba-da-da-da. You know, that power that comes from it before he screams out "Kid," that would have been definitely one.
All right, Patch, what was yours?
Man in the Box by Alice in Chains.
Okay.
Never really heard that song. I got to listen to it afterwards.
It's a great rock song.
Because you're in the box.
Exactly. You got to play the psychological game with the pitcher.
And now we're going with your alternative walk-up song. Is that correct, Patch?
Yes, the alternative walk-up song. Some players have 2 walk-up songs for later in the game. So, Reg, kick us off.
Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yep, I don't know. There's just something about that song that, if I walk up, I like dancing. For no reason, just for fun. I'm not a very good dancer, but I love dancing at a lot of sporting events, a lot of the clubs. So, if I go up to bat, it would be Your Love the Outfield, and then my backup would be Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses. It's something that gets you fired up. I like getting fired up for things.
I think it's a good choice. Okay, my second alternative song. This one was a tough one, guys, because if anybody knows me, I have very strange taste in music. But my one I was thinking, I think I have 2 alternatives. I'm sorry, and I'll pick one. My 2 were "Radioactive" by Imagine Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, alternative there.
And a one that I'll give as an honorable mention, "Under Pressure" by Queen.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think "Radioactive" because, again, like "Living on a Prayer," it has that. I think it has like that thunder into it. Not to reference the other Imagine Dragons song, also named Thunder. So old Ops guy, which was your alternative walk-up?
I actually had 2, and it depends on the situation. One, "It's Tricky" by Run DMC.
Okay.
One of my favorite songs growing up. But if I had to say, really push comes to shove, the Peter Gunn theme played during the Blues Brothers. To me, that constant guitar and bass, it's just something that people recognize and can just move along with it, but it's not overpowering, but it's not subtle either.
All right. And for me, I said 2 others. I had Bad Reputation by Adilla Sway. It's another rock song. Go check out some really good lyrics with the song. And my other alternative would be Hey Ma, I Made It by Panic at a Disco.
Hey, look, Ma, I Made It. Yeah, that's a good one.
That was his song every time we were doing ball games at the stadium.
That was always my song.
That.
It's a great song.
Exactly. We lost Bill for a second. He'll be back in just a bit.
Yeah, like just like with me, my internet cut out. But I can say this: Bill is the weakest link. Goodbye.
Okay. So what's up next, Patchy? What do you want us to do?
So with Bill's, I'll give Bill. We'll introduce Bill when he comes back. But his idea was, what are your favorite sports songs to hear at a game? So we're gonna kick off with you again, if you would like. You can start off with your number 5. We'll go 5-5 and then 4-4, and then we'll have Bill catch up.
Cool beans. I guess 5 would be Rock and Roll Part 2.
Ooh.
Rock and roll, hey. That's that to me gets me fired up too. Number
awesome.
4 is Get Ready for This, 2 Unlimited. I don't know. Do you guys recognize that song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Just making sure. Number 3 is Lose Yourself, Eminem. That's
right.
that's a powerful song anywhere you go. People love that song.
All right, and before you do number one, we'll do honorable mentions with Bill when he comes back. So that way
Yep.
we'll save our number one so Bill can catch up.
Yep, no problem. Number 2 would be Final Countdown, Europe.
Terrence's ring phone.
All right.
Because,
It's a good
when it's towards the end of the game, you want to make sure that again, when the crowd is buzzing, it's the best part, especially when it's like the tail end. So, to me, Final Countdown, Europe, absolutely number 2. And I'll say my number one's for it. I think we did.
I think we lost Old Ops guy. Jeez, now it's just you and me. Everyone's leaving here.
Yep. Hope we got Bill joining back in. I hopefully Old Ops guy can join back in as well.
Oh, hey, there's Bill again. He's back.
Okay, Bill's back.
We lost Old Ops guy, so.
Hey guys, I apologize for that. My Wi-Fi has been crappy lately, so.
That's all right. We were in the middle. I took over for a minute. You're gonna do your top 5 to 2 songs for sports songs, then we'll do honorable mentions.
What happened to Old Ops guy?
We lost him too.
Okay,
So
if
kick
it's
off
okay,
your
I
list.
want to give my closer song too because
That's right. We gotta do closer song. We'll come back to closer.
you know what? I think
We'll come back. Just do your top 5 right now.
Okay.
5 to 2. Say number 1.
Okay. 5 to 2. Say number 1. Okay. My number 5 is actually Reggie's alternative walk-up song, "Welcome to the Jungle."
All right.
And if anyone knows and again, what I feel like that really gets the crowd going. And the weirdest thing is, I will say this from a music perspective, I'm not really the biggest fan of Guns N' Roses, but
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either. But just
I
that
kind of think they're
song.
overrated. But that's a conversation for another day. But I just love that. I can't do the riff. But you all know what I'm talking about. It just really gets the crowd fired up. All right, Reg, what's your number 5?
That's right, because you didn't hear it. My number 5 was Rock and Roll Part 2. It's got Gary Glitter.
Okay. Patch, what was your number 5?
7 Nation Army, White Stripes.
Dun, 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 dun,
Gets a sucker crowd going.
I like that one.
And Old Top Guy's back. Perfect timing. What's your
He's
number
back.
5 song?
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I was having problems too.
Okay, so where are we? We're going down. Number 5 for me was "Who Let the Dogs Out." That's BBM Mets fan.
Yep.
4,
Yeah.
I know.
I'll have to go one by one.
Yeah, we're restarting. We're just gonna go one by one.
Okay.
Yeah, because Bill joined late, so he wants.
Oh, okay. Not a
do it
problem.
that
There
way.
you go.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, number 4.
My number 4 is "Enter Sandman" by Metallica.
All right.
In honor of course, Mariano Rivera, the greatest closer of all time.
The Immortal Mo.
Like every time I was at a game and they put mother you know what's coming when you hear those chords.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. My number 4, as the guys already know, it's "Get Ready for This" 2 Unlimited.
Number 4, I got Cyrus, the Alan Parsons Project, from the old Bulls. That subtle beginning with the piano. The Bulls were getting ready to come in and tear stuff up.
Yeah.
My number 4 goes with "Enter Sandman."
Same number 4.
Not for Mariano Rivera though. Billy Wagner owned it first.
He used to have
Right.
that too.
Yeah.
But Mariano perfected it though.
Yes, he did.
Okay. My number 3 is "Hell's Bells" by AC/DC.
Okay, that's not bad.
Good song.
Because as a Giants fan, if anyone's been, that's like what they play right before kickoff. I just think, I'm putting my music nerd hat on right now. It's just with the opening, It has that slow, eerie, like you're just getting ready to get fired up.
Right.
Like how I feel how like Welcome to the Jungle already expects you to be fired up. I feel like Hell's Bells is like the build up because it starts slow and it ensues.
All right. Reg, what was your number 3 again?
3 was Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Oh, that's a good one.
That you can play anywhere. Doesn't have to be a sporting event, and everyone will be fired up. People love that song.
For number 3, I have We Ready, Archie Eversole.
Okay.
We ready. Uh-huh.
Since I'm much older than you guys, I still go with an old classic favorite at number 3, Sweet Caroline, Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Yes.
That in my school we played Sweet Caroline at the hockey games in my school prior to the third period. So that was always a classic. And obviously in baseball you can play it anywhere, but most famously at Fenway Park.
At Fenway Park, yes.
And okay, you're gonna laugh. My number 2 is your number 3. I put Sweet Caroline as well. That's number 2. I think I just love it. It's just like one of those audience participation songs. Because you know what's coming. Yes. It's the Your times never seem so good than the so good, so good, so good. I just think it's that feel-good song. And they also played at Ranger games, too.
Yep. You'd play it anywhere. It's always requested.
I feel like that's like one of the songs everybody hears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Red, your number 2?
My number 2 is The Final Countdown, Europe.
Oh, I should have thought of that. I really like that song.
I love that song, man.
All right, I went way to left field for this one, but I got the Rangers goal horn song at number 2.
Whoa, that.
It's just an atmosphere that you love seeing at the Garden.
Oh, I love that.
And everyone, and even me, when they were playing the Jets the one day I went, I still went along with it because it's part of the Rangers experience.
All right.
Oh, sorry. My number 2, Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Yes.
Okay.
It's done a lot before a lot of football game kickoffs.
Thunder. All right. My number 1, it's a little generic, but I'm surprised. My number 1, wait, we got honorable mentions, right?
Yeah, we got some honorable mentions to get through.
Okay, my honorable mentions. Song 2 by The Blur.
Mm-hmm.
I had that.
Also known as Woohoo! Probably, I would put The Final Countdown on that as well. Didn't put much thought into this.
I had Hey Ya by Outkast.
Outkast, yeah.
Yep.
Or you know what? I think this is a guilty pleasure that we hear a lot of Yankee games. YMCA. It's a guilty pleasure.
The guilty pleasure of the Renegades.
You've never seen it best when you see Vision have to do dancing right on the dugout to it.
Hey.
Oh my God.
That and the chicken dance.
And the chicken dance, yes.
You guys do the chicken dance over at the Renegades?
Oh, come on. We made Baby Shark the best, though.
We made Baby Shark.
We rocked Baby Shark.
So much.
Back to the chicken dance, we had a bunch of German foreign exchange students in.
Oh, God, yes.
We had the one section, they were all there. They were just doing the chicken dance. And even Rascal was up there doing it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I had Fireball by Pitbull.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You also have Stronger by Kanye.
Okay.
Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith.
Yep. I also have song 2, Blur. I have Eye of the Tiger, Survivor.
Oh, shit. Why didn't I think of that one?
You know, I put a lot of that into it. What else do I had? This list was pretty hard to make, to be quite honest with you.
One tone that really only plays at one stadium, and I hate them to bits, the Darth Vader March still plans perfect, even though it played at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees are the most hated team in baseball, where the Cowboys are the most hated team in football, but still, there's nothing like that Darth Vader march. You know it's coming on. You know what's coming.
Yeah, and also speaking of the Yankees, I had this as an honorable mention, and I forgot New York, New York. As a diehard Yankee fan.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that.
Oh, jump around.
Oh, there you go.
Round. Love that.
Yeah, you got to have that in there.
Yeah.
And there's Here Comes the Boom by Nelly, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's another one.
Here comes the boom.
I hope Panic at the Disco plays a lot now.
You know what song I would want to hear more at New York? I've been to Yankees, Giants, and Rangers in one Jet game. I haven't been to a Knicks or Mets game, but you know what's one New York sports song I would really want to hear before we go on to number one more at games? I don't know if they do. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. New York State of Mind by Billy Joel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they sing it much because he's got it owned by him, and he doesn't let many people let it out unless it's him singing it.
Well, and I hate to put a damper on you, Mr. Old Ops guy, but I know they used to play that song after the Mets would lose games. They played New York State of Mind. They
used to, but a lot of stuff has been so copyrighted that they don't allow a lot of stuff anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I even miss Piano Man being played over at Citi Field. Like Piano Man was the thing.
Yeah, because you got to get, like, if you want to play this, everybody knows this. You got to get, like, royalties to.
Yeah.
You got to get, like, say, hey, we. Yeah. So okay, all eyes on number one. Reg, you want to start with number?
Sure.
Right,
That's fine. We Will Rock You, Queen. That it's because the crowd can literally participate in it.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously that was the intention, the crowd participating in it. But, We Will Rock You by Queen is my number one.
Guess what? That was mine too.
Okay.
With We Are the Champions. For those of you who couldn't tell by that, my second alternative walk-up song, I'm a bit of a Queen fan, so.
You're a queenie.
Yeah. Patch?
God bless America.
God bless it.
Hey, you know what? It's not as cheesy as it sounds. That's actually pretty dope. I like that.
And I think that's appropriate, it being Memorial Day weekend.
The song I grew up on, Center Field by John Fogerty.
Yep, I would agree. That's a good one.
And, they had Beltran running out to that when he would run to center field. And the song means a lot going back to my youth, but even nowadays.
Yeah. So now we got the closer song for closing pitches. You guys do that, or do I just have to do that?
Nope, we can all do it. We forgot to mention it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start first. I actually picked two.
I picked two as well, actually.
Oh, good. I wasn't going to get ran out of town for this. Well, that's still debatable. The day is young.
Depending what you choose, you might still get run out.
Okay, my two are very different, so everyone bear with me. Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue.
All right.
I actually told my mom and brother this, and they basically laughed me out of the room. But no, I just feel like I like the energy in it. And when you win, you feel good. I know what the song is about, folks. I know what it's about. I'm not that stupid. Anyway, my other one, In the End by Linkin Park.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a bit different. I like that.
Because
I do like that.
In the end, you're the closer.
And it's a good way to think about it, if you really want to dive deep.
It's very fitting.
Totally.
Reg?
Let's see. I have one, and it's Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes.
Mm.
Doom, 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 doom.
I had two. I had Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
And then I had No Chance in Hell, Vince McMahon's theme.
I have no idea what that is. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, and we also got some fan responses that will be I'll be reading in a minute.
You have a chance to go listen to it. It's pretty funny. It's Mr. McMahon's theme in WWE when he was a bad guy back in the day.
To me, of course, Mariano set the pace. You know, you have Enter Sandman, but Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine. I believe, Chapman uses it. I love it.
That's a good one. And now we actually have some I put this as a poll on my Facebook page, so I'm going to read you the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got some interesting ones.
I liked one of them.
What was that?
I liked one of them.
And we'll get to that, who it is. This is from my friend Allie from New Paltz. Allie, if you're listening, shout out. Lose Yourself by Eminem, which we mentioned. My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark by Fall Out Boy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Not bad.
Cult of Personality by In Living Color.
Oh, that's another good one.
Yeah, you know, the first time I heard that song, you know who introduced that song to me? Mr. Lawrence Patchman Lang.
That's right.
And or Undertaker's theme song.
Okay, well, that was debatable. It depends which Taker theme you go with.
Yeah. Another one is from my good friend Matt Hemsley. We Will Rock You / We Are the Champions by Queen, which we talked about. Clamp Down by The Clash. And Apache by the Sugar Hill Gang. Our friend Vinny, number one, is Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Probably his walk-up music.
The Thrill of It All by Roxy Music.
It's probably his closer song.
And this is an interesting one, Moondance by Van Morrison.
Okay.
And, you know, speaking of which, quick tangent, I think Moondance is better than Brown Eyed Girl. Come at me.
We here at Sportsinsanitypodcast do not decone what Bill Murphy says, so don't take it out on us.
Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. My friend Jordan West, this is very okay. Goosebumps by Travis Scott and Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sky Zoo and Touré Blue Yankee. Sky Zoo and Touré, I don't know who these are. Blue Yankee Fitted. And Dave East and Styles P. It's Lit. And finally, this was the one you liked, Patch. My cousin Liz. Cuzzo, if you're listening, shout out. New York, of course. Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song.
Oh, who doesn't want to hear the glass shatter and then that guitar
that was
riff?
the one you gave her the thumbs up.
Who doesn't love that glass break and then the guitar riff?
And here comes the boom.
Here comes the
one.
Boom. Oh.
I feel like
Finale.
I got to admit, this is a very interesting, what these folks gave us is very interesting.
Yeah, it seems like we went more with the classic route, like the songs that we definitely hear at sports stadiums.
But you know what? It's like, it's subjective. Listen to what you want to. We're not here to tell you what to do.
I mean, they play all kinds of stuff at sports. I mean, even nowadays, you know, especially in baseball with a very high Hispanic population, you know, they're playing a lot of Latino salsa stuff, you know. So, and I enjoy that, you know, being part Hispanic.
Sorry to interrupt. This is a special guest for Vision.
Another special
who has
guest.
not seen her.
Oh, the other little one
You
came
know who
by.
that is.
You know who I am.
You know. Oh, stop it. Okay, go ahead.
But that was adorable. Anyway,
Vision hadn't seen her in a while.
we'll hurry this up so you can get back to your family. We promise.
No, it's okay.
But the it's sort of an interesting mix, and and that's interesting. Listen, before we go, I want to cover one thing just really, really quick. Just bear with me, folks.
Go for it.
Did you hear there's going to be some golf match tomorrow?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think like
yes.
yeah,
Woods Mickelson.
Woods, Mickelson, and then something about Brady and Peyton
And Brady
Manning.
Peyton Manning and Tiger
Manning.
Woods against Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson.
That, yeah.
Okay.
So is anyone going to watch that?
I would
Oh,
gladly
absolutely.
tune in. Oh, come on.
I don't even watch golf, and I might even watch it.
No, that's going to be fun. That's going to be pure fun.
I'll wait till like the 18th hole, like I always do.
But
Well, supposedly,
you know
I
what?
think
This
it's
is
the
actually-
fifth hole. It's a 101 again. Mickelson versus Woods drive contest. So
Gotcha.
I want to see that.
You know what? Actually, you know what I actually heard that Tom Brady said. He actually said he's glad he's facing Peyton and not Eli in golf
Makes sense. Couldn't
That's
beat the
funny.
man.
because Eli beat him twice in the Super Bowl and won an MVP twice. So take that, Brady.
Unfortunately, Brady just does this, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, he does. He can go like this, and Eli's shame just comes out.
Unfortunately.
But Eli and Nick Foles could both brag
Yes, they took
that,
down
hey,
the best.
we beat Tom Brady in the Super
Hey.
Bowl.
They took down the best, but Brady can still go.
Yep.
Yep, and that hurts me more.
Yes, absolutely.
Hurts
And
me
now
more.
him in Tampa, that's interesting,
Yep.
especially with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. My
Thank-
God,
Thank goodness he's out of the AFC East. Go ahead.
I'm glad he's out. He's not even gonna. I don't
Just think
play him
about
this
it.
year.
We're gonna get Drew Brees and Tom Brady twice this year, a matchup.
That's a pretty. That's something you don't really think about
I'm
until.
clearing my schedule on those days along with my
Yeah.
Giant schedule. So any of my friends and family who are listening to this on those days, I will be unavailable.
Yeah,
Are-
my
are any-
entire network will be occupied.
Interesting.
Both-
Are those games prime time? They gotta be.
They
I'm
have to
sure
Good.
one of them is. They're still the schedules were released, but they have said they will be making changes for primetime matchups.
They
They're
got to.
not displayed.
And also they got to alternate it due to obvious circumstances.
Yeah.
Depending on when that happens. So, old ops guy, really quick, you brought up Brady. How do you think Brady's going to do in Tampa this year?
All depends on the line that's in front of him. If the line can block, he can throw the ball all day. We got, as I said, talented in Mike Evans, beyond talented in Chris Godwin. He's got his boy Gronk, even though I don't think Gronk's going to catch more than 30 passes, but Gronk is doing the Jason Witten, and he's coming out to play. And you still got O.J. Howard to talk about.
Mhm.
And if they want to, throw another tight end. Throw Cameron Brate in as well. Go out with that type of lineup. Brady's going to throw all day. And if he has the time and he can be as accurate as he has been, you can see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not only winning their division, but making a Super Bowl run.
And you know what? That's something that Bruce Arians would love. And so far, I think he's actually liked the fact that Brady is in town. I would be too. It's the best quarterback ever. So,
Yes,
he's
the best quarterback ever. That's hard for me to swallow, but that's
Oh,
really
trust
what
me.
it
I
is.
think it's hard of all of us to swallow.
No, I'll admit it. He's the greatest quarterback.
But it's hard for at least the three of us to swallow.
You're looking at greatness.
No. I've been saying this. As much as it pains me to say this,
Yeah.
the day he retires, he should be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
He'll be an automatic 5 and in, just like Derek Jeter was automatic. Mariano
Like
was
if I
automatic.
was part of whoever votes for the Football Hall of Fame, it would make me want to throw up. But I'll say, okay, fine, Tom Brady first ballot, and then
Yeah,
But there will be one person, I guarantee it, that will not make it a unanimous. There'll be one, just
Who?
like it was with
Jeter.
Jeter. There's gonna be one.
And who's the one?
Oh, that I don't know.
oh,
We
my
knew.
God.
I have no idea. But yeah. So anything else, guys, or that's a wrap?
I'm good for today.
God,
I
we went
really
on for 2
appreciate you
hours.
guys having me on, allowing me to join
Well,
in the fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Come in, please come back anytime. We have an open door policy.
Oh, that works for me.
Yeah, please. If you want to come back on, let us know. We would love to have you back.
People will probably
Thank you
forget.
very much.
people might forget, but my plan this year is we have 4. Let's get 4 more people. Let's do a NFL draft for fantasy football on here.
I'm in.
I know I can get 1 more, so that'll be 5, and then we'll need 3 more to do an 8-team. We can do a live NFL draft.
Yeah, we'll
or a recorded one since we're pre-recorded.
we'll figure it out as we get closer.
Absolutely, but that's the plan.
NFL season.
Yes.
But we'll see who can come. So, and we can do that. Maybe we should. No, we'll talk about it off camera.
All right.
Okay. I'll just say maybe we should get our dear friend Ross to help us out.
Maybe.
I think he can have fun with this.
He can be the one announcing the picks.
Yes. We'll send him a text, and then he can be the commissioner. Or
hey, that'd be fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, we could do it like an actual NFL draft.
I'd be all for it.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, we hope you enjoyed today's show. Since Memorial Day weekend, we just.
What's up? What, Bill? You can't think right in a second?
Oh no, I thought my screen froze again.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I've been having issues with my Wi-Fi, so
It's all right.
I'm surprised it only acted up once today during all this. So thank you God. Anyway, thank you guys, and since it's Memorial Day, we thank all those for their service. Thanks for them for their sacrifice. Aw.
Okay, you come and say goodbye.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Podbean, like,
YouTube.
comment, subscribe on YouTube, and hit that bell. And reach out to us anytime via email. We will see you next week, where we will finally discuss The Last Dance. I'm gonna binge watch it this week.
Yeah, Bill's holding us up because he hasn't watched it yet. All 10 episodes have been available all week.
I was actually thinking about staying up all night watching it last night, but I'm a little more sane than that. So
yeah, it's probably good for me to rewatch it anyway, because there's probably stuff that I can pick up that I didn't pick up before. So,
am I absolved of all this yet?
I guess. Why not?
Okay, so
We forgive you, Bill.
So I'm Bill.
I'm Lawrence Patchman Lang.
All right, Reggie signing off.
Ops guy had a blast.
All right, thank you again, old Ops guy. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Deuces.